How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video where we'll be responding to Onision once again. And I'm kind of wondering if this is more of a, like with this particular video and probably the next one I'm going to be responding to, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a follow-up to the conversation that he had with Repsion, where Repsion, in case you haven't seen the video, completely trolled Onision for a few conversations when it comes to emails, as well as tweets that were before that, and is now butthurt by some of the things that Repsion has pointed out when it comes to his behavior and his actions. So this video, which is just titled Onision Still Innocent, is more likely a way to try to shut people up, I guess. But really, how well has that really helped him in the past? If you answered no, then you are correct. It hasn't helped him.
What's up? I'm gonna make this video like I'm talking directly to a human being because there's a lot of people who need to see this video. There's a lot of people who need to actually acknowledge reality.
This is coming from a guy that has denied reality on a daily basis, as well as denied common courtesy, decency, and basic common sense when it comes to dealing with situations.
Because they're not treating people online like they're actual people. And if you're not treating people online like they're actual people, then there's no real point to your interactions. They're just stupid.
Oh, hi there, Kettle. Name's Pot. Have we met?
And nonsensical, in my opinion.
You know, I know it's a nitpick, but I gotta say it. You gotta love whenever Onision gives his opinions and mentions that it's an opinion, it's okay for him. But when somebody else from another, on the other side, when it comes to giving their opinions, especially when it comes to opinions about him or things he's talked about or various other things, that's bad. So, Onision's opinion's good, other opinion's bad. That makes no damn sense whatsoever. But then again, he does believe that he's perfect and can't be touched. So, yeah, keep living in that glass house of yours.
Regardless, there's been a lot of people I've talked to about a number of things that people have called me. People have called me pedophile. People have called me groomer. People have said that I'm a sex offender. And people have said that I'm in jail.
And just out of curiosity, are you going to give any examples of these accusations or of who has been saying it? Or are you just going to talk out of your ass and give no context to the situation? And just so I can get out of the way, at some point, especially when it came to the whole Sarah drama, we did start coining him the grooming onion. But that was more of a joke in his expense and not actually calling him a groomer or a pedophile. Again, it was more of a joke of the situation.
Right now, they've said that I have been convicted of anything.
Where is the proof?
Side note, I'm so happy I got to use that clip again. Second, when it comes down to it, a lot of people, and it just goes to show that you don't really watch anyone's videos at all, because a lot of us never said that you were convicted. We commented on the fact, or commentated on the fact that, the FBI, or allegedly, because we have to use the phrasing that way, allegedly, the FBI or other law enforcement was looking into you, especially with some of the stuff that was happening, behind closed doors. And as well as a lot of the other stuff that was being popped up. Like, for instance, your own daughter falling out of a window. Which, just listen to that story again, it sounds very sketchy to me, but that's just my opinion.
And, I mean, these things, some are undeniably, this is not a jail cell. So that much is obvious.
No shit, Sherlock!
But you have people who say things like groomer. A groomer is someone who takes a minor and they prepare them for illegal sexual acts and then they take part in sexual acts with them. That's a legal definition. That's the definition that is actually important in courts.
So I kind of feel like Greg was just reading off one of the Urban Dictionary definitions of what a groomer is. Also, one of the really funny things, reading Urban Dictionary, it says, noun, a greasy cuck who doesn't bathe and manipulates underage girls, usually found having mental breakdowns or dressed as a banana. In quotes, hey, you heard about that groomer dude, the banana one? Oh, you mean Onision. All joking aside, though, when it comes to Onision's, Greg's definition of a groomer, he's narrowing it down to kind of reduce the impact of what he's done to a few people. If you look at websites like the nspcc.org.uk, which has the article, like, what is a child groomer? Looking at that, and it pretty much says, like, what is a child groomer, or what is grooming? Grooming is when someone builds a relationship, trust, and emotional connection with a child or young person so they can manipulate, exploit, and abuse them. And it also reads that anyone can be a groomer, no matter their age, gender, or race. Grooming can take place over a short or long period of time, from weeks to years. Groomers may also build a relationship with a young person's family or friends to make them seem trustworthy and authoritative. So, in case Greg didn't get it, because let's face it, with this channel we've talked about a lot of his bad behavior in the past. More likely the reason why he has the moniker of groomer is due to the fact that he has not only treated people in his life poorly, but to a large extent have manipulated and abused them. Listening to some of the stories from people like Sarah, Billy, and many, many other people. Onision at this point, when it comes to a relationship, has that, or wants that sense of control where he is pretty much the one who is the final word, and if you go against that, then he will put you in your place.
So I'm not that. People think I am, even though I've never even been to court for anything like that. I've never been arrested or anything like that for something like that. The only thing I've ever been arrested for is beating up my dad when I was 15. I'm not a pedophile because a pedophile is someone who's attracted to prepubescent children. I'm not attracted to prepubescent children. That's disgusting.
Weren't you collecting photos of half-naked underage girls, claiming it for body positivity videos?
Oh shit! Burn! Burn!
And allegedly, wasn't your spouse under the age of consent when you were dating them?
Someone even came to my stream recently and they said, oh, I bet you like that new Netflix documentary, Cuties. And Cuties is this big drama blew up on Twitter about Cuties because apparently Netflix did a whole documentary on child exploitation or whatever, but it's actively exploiting children. It's a big irony, and I don't know why it's still on Netflix. It looks gross to me. Haven't even checked it out. Don't know why I would. That's prepubescent children. Gross.
So it takes me to now to, look what that fucking thing was. And you know what? It's sad to say that I have to agree with Onision on that one. Yeah, that is disturbing as shit when it comes to that. And Netflix, Netflix has, posted some really good content, but I don't know why post something like this. It's disturbing as fuck. But I will say that when it comes to, somebody making that joke, I think they just did it as a joke in the expense of Greg. And more likely just to try to get a reaction out of him. Which, by what he just said, I think they did. So, congrats, Greg. You actually found one thing I would agree with you on. Now you have the chance to, just explode your ego all over the corner of your house.
So not a pedophile, not a groomer.
Well, with the way you've manipulated teenagers and young women, that's debatable.
Okay, not a sex offender, because again, that requires you go to court and you get arrested.
So, let me get this straight. The only thing that is keeping you from being called out for some of your past behavior is a title being placed on you? I'm sorry, no, a shitty person is still a shitty person. And even though even if you're called, a groomer or a pedophile, or that title isn't placed on you, I'm sorry, again, a shitty person is still a shitty person.
Or something like that. You get arrested for some kind of crime and whatever, and you go to court and you lose, and now you have to register as a sex offender. That's as I understand it.
Well, by that logic, that would explain why you got the wrong Chris Hansen for that whole court case debacle. By the way, how did that go again? Oh yeah, that's right. Again, you got the wrong person when it comes to Chris Hansen, and the evidence that you claimed was there of harassment from Repsion didn't hold up in court. So, shows how much you really know about the law, huh?
So, in this video, we've established not a groomer, not a pedophile, not actively in jail, haven't been in jail since I was 15 for beating up my dad, not a sex offender, and yet you have people who have jumped to the conclusion that these things are true because they are painfully stupid.
Okay, so I gotta ask, who has been saying this? Is there any context, or are you just talking out of your ass to make it seem like, oh, all these people are just talking shit about me? In which case, at this point, especially with a lot of the other commentators who have, discussed this situation with you about being allegedly investigated and charged, which we've called it as it is, or had to call it as being allegedly charged, because 50-50 chance it wasn't actually happening. We didn't say initially that you were in jail. We didn't initially say that you were being investigated. And it seems like the only person that was saying that is Chris Hansen, which, in case you didn't realize, a lot of people distanced themselves from Chris Hansen after all the shit he was pulling. So, at this point, who's saying that? I would probably assume at this point only the fans of Chris Hansen. But for a lot of people, especially people who follow myself or various other commentators, aren't saying that. Or if they are, they haven't been watching our videos or our discussions on your ethics or the situations or drama that involve you. So, at this point, I would expect you to give it an actual piece of evidence of who's been saying this. Otherwise, I just feel like you're talking out of your ass. And at this point, you're just trying to stir up drama, especially after what happened with the Repsion thing.
And here's the problem. I have to deal with this when I live stream. I see people join my live streams and they say pedophile, groomer, whatever, all this stuff. And I'm just like, how do you justify being so blatantly ignorant?
Funny. A lot of people would be asking you the same thing.
Right. And this is reminiscent of another time when nobody listened to me. Everybody said that I was terrible because I called out Shane Dawson.
Call it as it is. You were using misinformation to call out Shane Dawson. Therefore, lying about Shane Dawson. You were using edited clips as your go-to evidence to try to call him out. If anything, you are more dishonest, or as dishonest as the person that made those clips.
I said that things that Shane Dawson had actually done on camera were horribly inappropriate.
Oh, wow. The guy that makes disturbing, violent, and inappropriate content is going to call out the person for making inappropriate content. Though, with some of the things which Shane Dawson apologized for, I do agree that, with a lot of people, that some of the things were cringy jokes, but to an extent, it was a joke, and he did apologize for it. And you'd think, I'm sorry to say, Mr. Onision, Greg, the grooming onion, would at this point be sympathetic to somebody making a joke, considering the fact that when people call out Greg's comedy, he gets all butthurt about it. So I have to ask, would this situation be a perfect example of hypocrisy on Greg's part?
And I was saying how wrong what Shane Dawson was doing actively in his videos, right? People said, oh, this is fine. And they took his side and they defended him against me.
So I'm pretty sure that's not the case, considering, a lot of people did call him out for some of the jokes he made, but at the same time, accepted his apology. Though some people know my stance on, public figures making an apology. But all in all, he tried to be better. He tried to do things differently. And I think ever since, some of his earlier content, he has been trying to reinvent himself, so to speak, so he is more, I don't know if I can say presentable, or more, I guess, to some extent, being more civil when it comes to his content. I think that's the best way I could put it. Which, I will say, that says a lot about the individual who's able to, change himself when he does something wrong. But we know how you feel about that.
Because with these people, it was never about defending children. It was about trying to hurt me.
You serious?
You gotta love it when Greg makes it about himself. Oh, you guys didn't do it to defend kids. You did it because you wanted to harm me. One, how exactly are we harming you? By calling you out? By giving our own opinions? Giving commentary on what you say and do? I'm sorry, how exactly are we hurting you? Is criticism actually hurting you? Or is it the actions that have caused you to basically have your entire career on the internet plummet? At this point, it's your own actions for causing your career to plummet. Not us. I know you like to blame us, but it's you. And it has always been you, unfortunately. And unfortunately, you just don't get it.
Trying to make me the bad guy as much as they possibly could.
I'm going to refer to my previous comment. You didn't need us to make yourself look bad. You did that all on your own.
So, I was right about Shane Dawson.
This guy is fucking stupid!
And you guys can't deny that anymore. Not in a jail cell. You can't deny that. Wasn't in a jail cell, other than that one time when I beat up my dad when I was 15. Okay? Not a sex offender. Not a pedophile. Not a groomer. And I'm noticing that our presidential candidates right now it was trending the other day that they're both alleged rapists.
So, I don't care about the presidential candidates because, let's face it, to me personally anyway, each and every one of them sound like, kind of stupid in my eyes. And some of their ideas and motives are idiotic and more likely will not fully help the people. And if anything, and I'm talking about both sides, by the way, and more than likely, no matter who wins, you're going to have one side that's going to be really pissed off. So I really don't care. As long as one side doesn't decide to go around town to town and burn down, businesses, homes, and, just livelihoods because their president candidate didn't win, then I'm happy. And yes, if you guys notice, I am targeting the freaking, people that did that. Which, I'm going to say right off the bat, shame on all of you. You didn't get your way, and you freaking threw a tantrum. Boo fuckity hoo. I know I sound mean, but let's face it. It was really stupid and irresponsible to just going off and burning down towns because you guys didn't get your way. But like I said, I don't care. I don't care who wins, just as long as nobody burns down a fucking town. Or series of towns. But anyways, going to the point present. It's funny, especially when, Onision, people like Onision use the word alleged. And so far, when it comes to his videos, he's been kind of promoting the idea that it's clear and cut that the presidential candidates are, let's say, quote unquote, sexually assaulted somebody. And right here, he's using the word alleged. I don't know how to respond to that because, like I said, so far, when it comes to some of his videos, he's tried to make the claim or kind of speculate the fact that they are. When in reality, using the word alleged means it's unclear. And at this point, when it comes down to the situations involving, that kind of, what's the word? Scrutiny? I prefer the whole innocent before proven guilty before we start, discussing, that they actually did it. But, Greg. And I know some people are going to attack me, especially one individual that I know has been posting comments on my videos saying, oh, then Greg's innocent. Just so we're clear, I've been only responding to some of the videos he's posted, what he's said and done. When it comes to harassment of his exes, the videos have been up there, as well as the harassment of various other people. And again, because he can't keep his mouth shut and can't consider what he posts on YouTube, those videos have also been up there with him harassing people. Eugene Cooney, Shane Dawson, Billy, Jacqueline Glenn, a variety of people he has harassed and tried to bully.
They're both alleged predators themselves. Because right now in our culture, if people don't like someone, they just automatically seem to call each other pedophiles. And you could say, well, Onision, you called Shane a pedophile.
I kind of feel like you're underplaying what you did, Onision. You didn't just call him a pedophile. You made several videos that were pretty much bullshit, with you bullshitting around. And with this particular video, it was fueled by, 1, your hate boner for Shane Dawson, and 2, false information created by another account to try to attack Shane Dawson.
Have you not been paying attention? Sometimes you can call someone something and it's actually accurate. I reserve that word for people who describe prepubescent children as SEXY, like Shane did at one point.
Yeah, and what do we call the fuckers that collect photos from underage girls who are half naked, claiming them to be used for quote-unquote body positivity videos? I'm sure the same could be said by that individual, especially if, every single image is collected on their computer or storage devices. And two, whenever addressed, the individual tries to make justifications of why they have pictures of underage girls that are half naked on their computer.
Okay, I reserve that word. Now, I don't know how I feel about how Shane is right now. In fact, I wasn't happy to see what happened, all that stuff go down, because first of all, it should have happened years ago when I called him out.
Yeah, but let's face it, you basically have a hate boner for Shane Dawson, and more than likely anything you say may be considered as biased garbage at best.
But secondly, I didn't see the justice. There was no justice, really. It was just people feeling good attacking someone. It didn't make sense to me. And you have somebody, and they're mostly mad at him for jokes that he told that were inappropriate, not his actual serious tone, serious context.
Come here.
Yeah.
But secondly, I didn't see the justice. There was no justice, really. It was just people feeling good attacking someone. It didn't make sense to me. And you have somebody, and they're mostly mad at him for jokes that he told that were inappropriate, not his actual serious tone, serious context, admissions of certain things, or subjecting his alleged 12-year-old cousin to the videos he put her through. Okay? So I was talking about real things, and you guys are talking about him jerking off to a poster, pretending to jerk off. I'm just like, what is your morals? Why do you quantify things this way?
Damn it, Wade!
So, if you guys don't mind, I think I'm going to just go ahead and summarize the rest of this video, or just the video in general, because I don't even know how far in, and it's been pretty much the same garbage. More than likely, it's an 18-minute video of him regurgitating the same bullshit over and over again, thinking that this is going to help his case when it comes to calling out Shane Dawson and calling out the fact that he is quote-unquote innocent. Alright, so, number one. He's upset with the fact that people were calling him pedophile or groomer, which, understandably anybody would. He tries to denounce anybody's criticisms by saying things like he hasn't been to jail, he hasn't been convicted, and he can't be a quote-unquote sex offender or pedophile because he hasn't been charged. Which I want to point out that just so you know, people who have the ability or the notion to sexually assault somebody, I mean, some of them more likely are still, free. You realize that, Greg, right? And unfortunately, not every one of them are going to get caught. That's the unfortunate fact. And I'm not trying to go political or anything. That is one of those things that unfortunately ends up happening. Not every one of them gets caught. So this notion of, oh, I can't be a sex offender or a pedophile because I wasn't convicted is total bullshit. Okay? Next. The whole thing about Shane Dawson. Yes, we know you hate Shane Dawson. You don't like it that people defended him over you. You don't like the fact that people gave their criticisms and opinions on your videos where you tried to take down Shane Dawson, even though, let's face it, I'm going to call it as it is, it was biased garbage because you have beef with Shane Dawson. This video, I feel, doesn't prove anything. If anything, it just goes to show how sensitive Greg is when it comes to certain things, and doesn't like the fact that, once again, people aren't going to side with him. Especially when it comes to bad logic. Especially when it comes to his behavior. And at this point, whether Greg, and I've said this before in a couple of my videos, it doesn't matter if you're right, Greg. If you're continuously a fucking douchebag, it doesn't matter if you're right. Because at this point, every time you try to claim that you're right, you're just trying to wave this little flag, you know, all these signs, act as if you're hosting a parade, like, oh, I'm right, and making it all about yourself. Not the fact that, you know, when it comes to situations where it matters, that the people who were affected, you know, got some sort of, not satisfaction, but relief or justice, but the fact that you, because your ego is so small and you are so sensitive, that you have to continuously prove you're right. That you have to make it all about yourself. Look what happened with the whole Eugenia Cooney thing. You continuously tried to attack her. You continuously tried to claim that you knew everything. When she went to rehab or treatment to deal with her situation, it was Jacqueline Glenn that brought her there. You try to make it out as if you were the one that got her into going to treatment. You made it all about yourself. And continued to disobey her wishes, by the way. I hate to bring that up, but yeah, it's something that at this point, especially since he keeps bringing up the past about other people, it's one of those things that should be mentioned. You know, to bring up the fact that he's a hypocrite. So, bottom line, at this point, especially with a lot of things, especially with this fucking video, nobody fucking cares at this point what you have to say, Greg. And no amount of you trying to convince people is going to really convince people to be on your side when it comes to what you talk about. It's not because they have a hate boner. It's not because they dislike you or hate you. I know you're going to go that route. But it's because at this point, with what has been presented online, not by us, but by you, people have a notion of what kind of person you are and what tactics you try to perform in order to push the narrative. So, think about that. Though, you won't, more than likely. Because you always think you're right. So, with that being said, because this has been a really long video, and I want to point out that as I've been trying to record this, the editing software I've been using has been fucking up, especially when it comes to my microphone, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, and have anything you'd like to say, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description, as well as check out our weekly podcast and the daily content. With that being said, this is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.
I smell Jar Jar!